Great. So I was saying there are certain questions that we need to address through the Fair and Reproducible Structural Biology workshop. The first question that we have is, how do we trust AI-driven results? And the second is, how do we document complex workflows? And then, of course, how do we make research reproducible when the software as well as models and compute matters equally as much as data does, right? And ultimately, how do we assess such work fairly and responsibly? This workshop is also being organized as a thematic pre-event to the India AI Impact Summit, which all of you are aware is happening in India, New Delhi, in February 2026. And that is what places our event in squarely within a broader national and international conversation. The summit essentially asks, many of you may be attending it. Our international collaborators definitely are coming to India to attend that one. And the summit is asking how AI can meaningfully deliver scientific and societal impact. Our contribution here is to ground that conversation in real scientific practice and to look at what AI actually does inside laboratories, inside simulations, inside proteins, inside workflows, and to ask what that means for governance, evaluation, and long-term trust in science. At the same time, today's workshop marks an important moment for CODATA India. Over the next 2 years, throughout the through the newly established task group that we have led by Professor Narendra Mehra and myself, it is called the OT-ViRARE task group, which stands for essentially open tools and visitation frameworks for research assessment. We are committing to build practical, open, and globally relevant approaches to research assessment that reflect how science is actually done today. OT-ViRARE itself, the task group, is not about replacing one metric with another. All right, my slides are not moving. Maybe they will, right, with time? Okay. So OT-ViRARE task group is not about replacing one metric and coming up with a new metric. It's about recognizing contributions rather than containers, workflows, or outputs, right? And therefore, we can't anymore have a one size fit all mechanism for the AI that we are building in our own specific areas and themes. So most importantly, we want to see a 2-year project, and Professor Mehra will tell you more about it, with a fixed endpoint. Today is the beginning of that and the beginning of a community. Therefore, this is the first step essentially in that direction. Over the next 2 years, we hope to stay engaged with many of you, and therefore we need in the chat box or somewhere, we need a mechanism for every attendee today to tell us whether they would be interested in the monthly engagements and events that we are planning to conduct under this task group starting January 2026. And the idea would be to stay engaged through discussions or panels or hackathons or hands-on sessions or co-created use cases for which you have to tell us, let's do this together. So a lot of our students and collaborators are structural biologists. And so our first case study is structural biology. But we are doing similarly something. So in March, I'm planning a biodiversity workshop, biodiversity informatics. All of you are more than welcome to join that. But if you feel that a certain thematic can be included, please give us a use case co-created study, and we can sustain and build this diverse community of global scientists in practice. That matters, I think, more than any single toolkit that we might build or report that we might build. So therefore, I'm going to be ending my short introduction today with an invitation. As all of you participate with us today, and as the discussions unfold in this workshop on day 1, I especially encourage you to think not only about structural biology, but also about other domains, themes, challenges that you believe deserve attention. What kind of research is currently poorly assessed? Tell us. What do existing metrics, where do existing metrics fail? And above all, what types of data, workflows, and knowledge remains invisible? That is what we are wanting to hear. What topics would you like our task group to explore in the coming months, whether through assessment, frameworks, data visitation models, or thematic workshops like the one we are doing today? We genuinely want this. Okay, Arhan, I have 2 more slides. When I don't understand.
It's not sharing, right?
It's not sharing. I'm not sure what is sharing on the screen.
Oh.
Is this visible on the screen, Preeti? My slides? So they're not visible. Then there is a problem. Arhan, we have to be very careful about how we handle the screen that everybody is seeing. So again and again, I'm looking up and then I'm looking down. It's creating a complication. Is my screen visible at all? See, so that's the problem. We can't do this in the middle. क्या हो गया यार? Is my screen visible now?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, it is.
Is it? So, well, I was basically saying that this invitation, this workshop day one is an invitation to the community to ask genuinely that we want to shape this effort with you and not for you. With that, I would like to just give you an outline of what to expect today. And then I will close my introductory welcome address. On day one, which is today, we are having this inaugural session, which is probably going to be over in, with a few talks. And then we will have the first session on rational drugs design and transforming drug discovery. Now, this is very important to let you all know that today is a demo day. So today there will be no hands-on. The hands-on will be in the future days of this workshop. And the session 2 will be on the fundamentals of generative AI and ultra large chemical space talking methods that we will have before lunch today. I'm not putting the lunch breaks and coffee breaks here because this is basically an online meeting where you have your own coffee and lunch breaks. We will be having things alongside. So we've not really broken the stream of events. So you can have your coffee at your table, listen to us, make your notes, but we will have a lunch break from 1 to 2 o'clock. Okay, again, I think I've lost the sharing screen. Is it? So there is something the matter. This we will have to tell other speakers also in case I am sharing screen. So I'm going to stop. It is there. Okay. Great. Is my screen visible? Is the day one visible in the program? Yeah, okay. So the continuing with the post-lunch session, we will have a very interesting 1 hour on how we assess the work that you've seen demos with and fundamental lectures of. And then, of course, the CODATA Executive Secretary, in fact, the Program Manager of CODATA, Dr. Mati, will be here with us at 3 p.m. to talk to us about how you can also join other task groups and build your own task group within the CODATA. And now that the India committee is right here and we are very keen on engaging with everybody, please connect with us more often. The fourth session will be about accurate binding free energy predictions and unbinding kinetics, where again you will have a demo as well as a fundamental basics lecture. Finally, we will have a small panel discussion on, okay, gone. What's going on? Saurabh is not here. Okay, finally, we'll have a panel discussion. And I think I would just like to, if you can hear me, if everybody can still hear me, put your own slides, Arhan. I think it's better you put the slides from there. I'm going to close my talk anyway. So what I want to say is that today's session is not a hands-on session. It's an introductory demo and fundamental basics discussion session. But it is very important that those of you who want to be on the hands-on sessions attend the full day today, because the attendance is what is going to mark our choice and selections of applicants for the next 3 days. So the next 3 days will be entirely hands-on, and the third day is optional. It's about biologics. But today's attendance will be extremely important. With that, I would like to once again welcome everybody. And thank you again for joining us for this workshop. Arhan, back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Yadav, for that insightful introduction. Our next speaker will introduce us to the global data perspective. I am pleased to invite Dr. Narinder Mehra from INSA to present an overview of the CODATA Task Groups and their role in advancing open and reproducible science. Dr. Narendra Kumar Mehra is a globally renowned immunologist and former senior leader at the Indian National Science Academy, INSA. He has served as an emeritus scientist at the Indian Council of Medical Research and held senior academic and research leadership positions at AIIMS, New Delhi. His pioneering work in immunogenetics and transplant immunology has contributed to improved understanding of human leukocyte antigen systems, disease susceptibility, and organ transplantation compatibility. Dr. Mehra has published extensively and mentored generations of scientists in biomedical research. His achievements have been recognized through prestigious national and international awards for excellence in medical and biological sciences. May I request Dr. Narendra Kumar Mehra to kindly take the stage.
Very much for inviting me here in this workshop on fair and reproducible structural biology. I'm actually a person who spent all my life at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, AIMS, and my work has been revolving around immunology of kidney transplantation, or even now liver and heart transplantation. It's only during the last 3 or 4 years that I was drawn into this whole field of CODATA and data science, of which I knew nothing about it. But today, I'm a member of the executive committee of the International CODATA. And I'm so glad that the National Committee on CODATA, of which I was the chair until the last year, uh, has been doing remarkable work now, in organizing things and even taking part in the task groups of the International CODATA. The mission of CODATA, and since I'm a council member of the Executive Council of CODATA International, I want to tell you a little bit about that. The mission of International CODATA is to strengthen international science for the benefit of society by promoting improved scientific and technical data management and use. It is the Committee on Data of the International Science Council. The International Science Council, as you know, is a non-government organization headquartered in Paris, with the purpose of uniting scientific bodies, and INSA is a part of the ISC, and it unites scientific bodies that across natural and social sciences to promote international collaboration and strengthen the sciences role in addressing global challenges. That's its major role. And CODATA, the Committee on Data, is a part of the International Science Council. It supports the principle that data produced by research and susceptible to be used for research should be as open as possible and as closed as necessary. CODATA is concerned with all types of quantitative data resulting from experimental measurements or observations in the physical, biological, geological, and astronomical sciences. Particular emphasis is given to data management problems common to different scientific disciplines. Now, CODATA works also to advance the interoperability and usability of such data. The research data should be fair, and as you know, the title of this workshop is FAIR, and FAIR stands for Findable, Accessible, Interoperable, and Reusable Data. By promoting the policy, technological, and cultural changes that are essential to promote open science. CODATA helps advance ISC's vision and mission of advancing science as a global public good. CODATA achieves these objectives through a number of standing committees and strategic organizations, and through its task groups. There are various task groups actually, and I was a part of along with Gitanjali Yadav last year in October in Australia during the International Data Week organized by the International Data, where they actually look into the proposals that come from members from all over the world on their task groups. And it's a very tough competition there. we had prepared one particular task group, and I'm so very happy to announce to you that this task group was accepted. The executive council and then the general council of CODATA accepted our proposal. What Gitanjali was talking to you about OT-ViRAE. But the competition was very high. So what I was saying was the proposals are assessed by the Executive Council, which presents the recommendations to the General Assembly. So the 2025 call for task groups were encouraged and that the proposed groups contribute to one or more of the following three strategic priorities. The priorities of core data in 2025 were making data work for cross-domain grand challenges. And number two was promoting data policy. And number three, putting data science and artificial intelligence in service of science. So I think all of these three were very important areas, and that is why the assessment was done. After thorough assessment, 8 task groups were approved, and I want to read some of their names. They're fantastic names, the titles of those task groups. The big data curation and curation sustainability was one of them. Citizen science. I think citizen science is one area where there's so much of focus, both of the International Science Council, even during the time when India did the G20 and INSA was handling the Science 20, and I was the coordinator for Science 20. Citizen science or science for the society was our goal. It is also a goal of the SDG of the UN. The third sort of task group was on digital representation of units of measurement, what short form is called as DRUM, and the fair data for disaster risk research. Geographical indications, environment and sustainability was another task group that was approved. Open Science Cloud Service 11 metadata was the other one. And the last two were the research data quality management across the data life cycle, and our own, which was sent by the International Science Academy. And I want to thank Gitanjali Yadav here because she worked a lot on this and prepared the good document. And this was titled as Open Tools and Visitation Framework for Global Research Assessment Reform. And the short form she already talked to you about, OT-ViRAE, and I had the opportunity to present this in Australia to the Executive Council there, and they approved it. And in fact, we got very high marks for that. In fact, we were amongst the 8. Our proposal came number 3, and Anjali, this is a moment of pride for you that your proposal that you made with so much of hard work, it actually came number 3. Now, this task group was established, and today, I think today during the whole day, you guys are going to talk about this a bit more, because one of the issues that the task group does, the task group must organize webinars or presentation to the CODATA members. But by the way, each task group has a co-chair and has a chair and a co-chair. So earlier the chairs were myself and Dr. Gitanjali Yadav. But now, since I'm a member of the Executive Council of the CODATA, they have made me EXCO liaison. So I will be working as a liaison, but I will be also working as a CODATA, this task group co-chair with Gitanjali and Dr. Debashish Mohanty. So there is always a liaison officer, which is designated by the CODATA, and they have given the responsibility to me. There is also an observer over there, and the liaison responsibilities are supporting communications with CODATA, with the task group co-chairs, participating in the task group meetings and workshops like we are doing today. And in fact, we will be doing many more workshops like this in the next 2 years or so. Providing guidance and ensuring that the task group engagement and alignment with the CODATA strategy and strategy I already talked to you about, and it's my responsibility to make sure that in the next 2 years, the kind of work that we do, it is aligning with the strategy of the CODATA. And then I have to report also to the EXCO on our plans, task group plans, progress and outputs and all that. I'm so very happy that today we have nearly 80 participants online, and I'm sure there are quite a few over there in person as well. So I think it's a good start to our task group. One of our other aims is to collect annual uh, report from the TG co-chairs and provide an overview and assessment of the completed goals of the EXCO and the officers. So these are some of the issues, but a little bit about the OT-ViRAE. It positions India not only as an adopter of global framework such as DORA and COARA, but as a co-creator of practical implementable solutions. Last year the INSA CODATA established the IRAF linking. So our goal is also to link the national efforts like the IRAF with the global data governance, fair principles and fair I already talked to you about, and AI for science agendas also. I think we are right on track with what we are expected to do, or what we are expected to do by the international CODATA. Now, for the CODATA India, OT-ViRAre represents a strategic opportunity over the next 2 years to contribute global South leadership. This is something that we have to do, because I think this is something that has been lacking so far in the international CODATA. The global South leadership has been lacking over there, and this is what we have to demonstrate through our efforts. So through doing these kind of workshops and seminars and webinars to international research assessment and reform, demonstrate how the data visitation rather than unrestricted data sharing can enable equitable participation in global science, and build open semantic AI-ready tools that reflect diverse research cultures, languages, and missions there. We have to also engage scientists like you, the data professionals, policy actors, and early career researchers in co-designing assessment practices, not merely adopting external standards. So I think this workshop is an excellent start to the task group that has been approved from India. And I'm so very proud of that, because when I go to the executive council and talk about all those 8 task groups, I feel very proud that one of the 8 is from India. So thank you so much. Thank you for coming in that large numbers over here. And I want to thank also Dr. Gitanjali Yadav and her team for organizing such a brilliant workshop. The whole day is going to be very active. I wish I had come over there, but Gitanjali, I'm so busy during the whole day. I will not be able to come because I have to attend meetings of the National Academy of Medical Sciences, and then I have to give a transplant grand round in the evening, all of them online. So I would have wished very much to be right over there. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You have joined us, Professor Mehra. That is more than enough. I mean, your participation right now is also very, very special to us. So I really am grateful, especially because, the India AI Impact Summit, if you have to do any pre-event, then we need approvals beforehand. So they gave us approval only last week. We had planned everything a month ago, but we were waiting for their approval. As soon as that came, I asked you and you agreed immediately to join us. That was so sweet of you. So thanks again.
My duty, I'm also trying to learn
G.
data science.
Over to you, Arhan. Together we will all co-learning, and learning by doing is our motto anyway. Arhan?
Thank you, Dr. Mehra, for presenting such an insightful